Welcome everybody. This is the first ever inaugural episode of the Totally Gamescast with my buddy Sean Johnson.
What up?
Today we got a lot of super duper tight stuff to talk to you about. We got upcoming games, Red Dead 2, some Smash Bros, we got Pokemon Go, we got Blizzcon, Diablo 4 leaked, which actually didn't get leaked, but anyways.
But we got some news out of there that's going to make Trey happy for sure with the D2 Remastered. We got tons of good stuff on this inaugural episode. This is a partnership between EZPZ over here. Trey's awesome, has been on the podcast for the full year now, going strong on there, and Totally Trey, which is killing it on twitch.tv/TotallyTrey. All the effing time. Do you have a set schedule right now?
No. It's just like I try to wake up early, do a couple hours, and then after work do a couple hours. Yeah. So it kind of sucks because I would like to be doing like the 5-6 hour streams, but you know, I'm getting stuck with like the 2-3 hour streams. So
yeah.
You know, it is what it is. You got to live your life. So make your girlfriend happy and shit.
Oh man, I know that. So the goal behind this though is to join forces with Totally Trey. Pop off on Twitch, and hopefully we can get some people in here throughout the episodes and every other Wednesday coming at you talking about games. Because during our EZPZ podcast that we put out every Tuesday on www.theezpz.com, THEEZPZ.com, we are putting out pop culture stuff, music festivals, live shows. Just celebrated Trey's birthday last episode.
Yeah, and we were just trying to like focus in, do more specifically gaming stuff because not everyone in the EZPZ games, you know, so it's awkward for like fucking, I'm forgetting his name all of a sudden.
Like Nick is...
Not Nick,
Andrew.
Andrew, yeah. Like people like that don't game a lot. It's like super lame for them when we get on those tangents or whatever. So
yeah, for sure. So let's just pop right off. What do you think, Totally Trey? You want to get into like just upcoming games? Kind of just give the layout of what we have to look forward to.
Sure. It looks like we got a Spyro Reignited trilogy, 11-13 of this year, which is pretty exciting. I was never a PlayStation kid though. Okay,
so that's what I was gonna ask you. You're rocking the PlayStation 4 right now. I'm rocking the Xbox One. So just want to kind of set the stage for our listeners, for our viewers. I'm Xbox and Switch. You're PC primarily, right?
Yeah. I tend to play on PC. I like my Switch a lot. PS4, I'm kind of dipping my toes into Red Dead, but haven't fully dipped my whole toe in yet.
You bought it? I didn't know that.
Well, so my plan was I was buying it so Gail and I could like play it together, like as a couples thing, like take turns, like pass off or whatever. And like in the first hour of the game, I'm realizing that it's actually kind of difficult, and there's like a million buttons and shit. And I'm like, I don't know if this is the best couples game, but
yeah, it's more. I think she would still get a lot out of just watching for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I was really taken aback with how much how cinematic the whole entire experience is, but we will get into Red Dead further down. I love Spyro growing up, truly. Like that's how I met one of my really good friends, Taylor Sparks. Actually, one of my favorite memories is just playing Spyro with her, and we're just like doing all three of the Spyro games. Like you've
trilogied it,
dude,
like back-to-back marathon?
Like, yeah, on PlayStation 1, and it was a really great experience. But like I said, not rocking the PlayStation at the moment. So moving on, this one there's through on the list here. I just don't even know if you have any history with it, but Hitman 2, what are you thinking about that? Yeah.
Isn't that... No, I'm thinking of Max Payne. It's like the slow motion like shooter game or whatever. So like do you know the premise behind Hitman at all?
Not exactly. It's the bald dude that's a hitman.
Yeah, no. Didn't they make a movie out of that shit?
Yeah.
He has like a barcode on his neck.
Yes, exactly.
Those are the things I know about Hitman, honestly. So not super excited for that release, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm right there with you. But let's move on to that Big Daddy. We got some discussion notes on this one in particular. Fallout 76 coming out on 11/14/18. Trey.
Okay, so this is like an online multiplayer game, but it's not going to be a full-on MMO. From what I'm hearing in the reviews and stuff, that it's like an open world, and in I think it was IGN's review of it, they were saying in the first 20 minutes of play, they didn't even see another player.
Right.
So finding another player is like an event in the game, you know, it's not so much like you're just constantly like struggling to like find enemies to kill because everything's dead, you know. But
yeah, so these previews are they're really, I mean, it honestly, the previews alone are the reason why I bought Red Dead Redemption 2, because I love Fallout. Fallout 3 was my favorite single player experience from the 360 PS3 era. Then Fallout 4 I really, really loved. There's a bunch of pretty okay, I would say, EZPZ Plays, which is just basically something I put out on the EZPZ, just capturing. And I really had a good time playing Fallout 4. Never beat the whole thing. I mean, I did everything you could in Fallout 3. But so Fallout 76 had me ramped up, but that E3 presentation where they're like, hey, there's no NPCs, there's no live people in the game except for other
Oh, PvP. Wow, I didn't even hear that. Wow.
Yeah. So it's like you're only going to learn about other people's story arcs, storylines through like recordings that you find or like things across like the world.
That's definitely a weird way to do it. That sounds more like a puzzle game style of like telling a story. And honestly, in modern gaming, I think that's not going to play as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
oh man, I don't know. It's really, it has me bugged. It has me irked. But yeah, IGN got to play with a whole bunch of other video game outlets, GameSpot, all the big ones that you know out there. And they were just, even when they wanted to go PvP in the game, they really couldn't, because if you shoot at another player and they don't shoot back at you, you only deal like 9 or 5% of damage.
Oh my god,
dude! There's like how can you even troll? Like how can you like have fun? There's like, okay, let's gang up on this guy or like whatever.
That sounds really bizarre, honestly. Yeah. Like doesn't really sound like it's for me. I love online games. What's up, Van Wedge? How's it going, dude? I'm not a butthole, by the way. First thing. Good to see you too, bro.
Thanks for joining in, homie. Great to meet you. Sean S. Johnson here, partnering with Totally Trey. We're just talking about some games. Fallout 76 right now. Let us know in the comments if you have any thoughts on Fallout 76. So besides that, Trey, does that have you like at all like?
So one thing I heard about the game is that there's no VATS or whatever, which was like such an integral part of the game. And basically the people that I've heard talking about the game are like, you're just basically getting headshots for free, you know, and it's taking multiple levels of skill out of the game, which is like, I don't know, in my opinion, not a good thing.
And in a world that just doesn't let up, like the world is with other players, you know, beside you, other gamers out there, they can't have a system that completely stops time, you know? So like that's the reason why they can't have a VATS.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I'm like just curious to see like how this game plays out, because like I don't understand the point. So the game isn't PvP really, because you can't necessarily PvP somebody. There's no story except through recordings. So, like, what are you doing? Like, you're
going out there and you're killing the Deathstalkers. You're killing, like, big enemies out there. I mean...
And who's telling you to do this?
Like, you're just going around the wasteland, killing things with other players or ganging up on other players. Like, gangs of players. There's, like, 20 people per server. Yeah,
I'm going to have to see how it looks, dude.
Totally, man. I mean, it has me worried. And did you hear about this, what happened this week on one of the betas? Because the beta just came out for the PlayStation 4 this week, exclusive to Xbox for the last week until this week. I'm pretty sure on Xbox, it ate somebody's 50 gigabyte, like, download. Like, it just, the bug completely killed it. So, you know, Bethesda's not really generally known for crisp games, like, right out the get-go. They've got those bugs. I'm worried. I'm not really...
I don't know. Skyrim was like a really crisp release, in my opinion. Okay. And that game came out, and I didn't have any issues with bugs or anything crazy like that. But I don't know. I'm not super into the Fallout series. I played Fallout 4 all the way through. It was a good game. Wasn't a fan of the building.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just not a fan of VATS in general. I don't like things that just take, like, that slow the game down and, like, make... it less skill-based, you know, so anywho.
Yeah. No, it's like they have VATS because their shooting's not that great. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, when I played Fallout, I didn't even use the VATS half the time, dude.
Okay,
like, I would just headshot,
yeah.
You know, but...
For sure.
Anywho.
Let's move on to the next game on this list. There's big games again, guys, on twitch.tv/TotallyTrey watching us. We're talking about those games that are big tentpole releases for the rest of the year. let's dive into Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. I want to hear what you think about that. That's coming out on 11/16.
So this game honestly looks super cool to me. Like, I mean, honestly, I like the competitive Pokemon games, which they're saying this isn't a competitive Pokemon game. It's with the original 150 Kanto Pokemon. It's kind of based off the anime with like just many similarities, like with the old Team Rocket and just like many like Misty, Brock, all of like Lieutenant Surge, all of the old characters from the show. Even though Lieutenant Surge and Brock and Misty were in the original games too, but more like in their full form, you know what I mean? Like from the anime instead of kind of their like not fully formed out,
just like the gym
ideas.
leader, they aren't like that. There's more character development there. I mean, as a game that's a world Kanto region 20 years old, at least from the Japan or US release.
Yeah, definitely. It's old ass game, man. Like, we're getting old, dude.
We are.
I remember. Okay, so weird question. Do you remember how you discovered Pokemon?
Through the neighborhood, for sure. And Pokemon cards, honestly. So I don't really know. How did I discover Pokemon cards? Probably some kid in my class said that his uncle worked for Nintendo. And I loved Nintendo at the time.
Because that was a new idea to me at the time, the trading card games, you know, because it was before I played Magic the Gathering, you know, and stuff like that. So
yeah, Pokemon was my first trading card game. TCG, loved it. Then I moved on to Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I graduated to the greatest trading card game of all time, Magic the Gathering. But that's beyond this point. So yeah, I love how you put some great notes on here. No random encounters.
Oh yeah,
so awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like the random encounters. So it's like kind of weird to me that there would be a game that you're not like kind of foraging through the grass for the rare Pokemon, where you can just see in the grass like, yo, there's the rare Pokemon. I'm gonna go talk to that dude and go catch him.
Right.
And that also brings us to the point of how it's in the stylings of Pokemon Go as far as the catching the Pokemon. You're not battling the Pokemon before you catch them. It's based on the kind of like closing circle Pokeball throwing thing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's going to be a little different, but the review that I read was saying that he actually enjoyed it because it was kind of a break from where you're constantly grinding Pokemon. It's like you do enough Pokemon battles in Pokemon, especially if you're going and hitting every trainer like you should to get extra XP. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you remember Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance,
that game was killer.
Dude, for sure. But those random battles, man, you almost can't even play it again because random battles everywhere. At least in Pokemon, it was tall grass, random battles.
Sure.
You know, it was in that section of the game.
Yeah, but Golden Sun was like in caves or
it was like everywhere, wherever you were in that area. Yeah. So what else do we got on there? What else can we look forward to for that Pokemon Let's Go?
So I guess they've got the Mega Evolutions and Alolan forms, which weren't in the original games, but they're trying to keep like new stuff coming in. They don't want to remake Pokemon Red and Blue again. They've done that. They've done that, so they don't want to keep doing that.
Yeah, they're keeping that fresh though. They're keeping those evolutions okay, even though I hate Raichu's Alolan form. Ugh. But Executor, I like his. Like, there's a couple okay ones. I'm not hating on all of them.
Yeah.
They're just so cutesy, you know?
Yeah, no, the Executor looks like ass, dude. There's some, like, really cool ones, though. Like, what's it called? Sandslash is super cool.
Okay.
Vulpix is super cool.
Where they're ice version.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of ice Pokemon.
Okay.
What up, Moisty boy?
What's up? Thanks for joining in on that Twitch chat. We're talking about Let's Go Pokemon, Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu coming out later this year.
This is my boy Sean S. Johnson. We're doing a little gaming podcast, and we're just giving you some upcoming game news. What are you up to, broski? Okay, so Sarah B, like the main, like one of the main like news sources for Pokemon, has said that it's a main series Pokemon game. It's a true Pokemon game. It's not competitive, but there's been like a lot of rumors that the game would be like so simple that it wouldn't be fun for like players that are like kind of older or whatever. And it was more geared to young players, but they're saying that it's more difficult than it was initially anticipated. And most of like the easiness comes from the fact that you learn moves that are like, okay, Pikachu will learn Surf before he fights Brock. Mm-hmm. So it makes him strong against Brock, even though he shouldn't be, you know? So, and that happens before every gym, and that was like a big concern for players, I guess. But Anyway, it's not really a huge thing to me anyway, but a big thing to me is that it's not including breeding in eggs.
Okay. Was that a big aspect for gold and silver for you?
Oh my god, dude. Because you'd spend hours, like, most of the time you spend in Pokemon isn't even, like, actually fighting people. It's like breeding perfect Pokemon, dude. This is coming out for Nintendo Switch, dudeski. But yeah, anywho, I think that the competitive players need to kind of ease off of always making everything about them. You know what I mean? Competitive players in games are like, it's all about me. You know, it's never about growing the community ever. It's like, this isn't hardcore competitive. I don't want to fuck with it, you know? And I think, like, especially with, like, a game like Pokemon, the critics need to just ease the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know?
You think that in general they've been too harsh lately?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially, like, games like Fortnite and stuff that are veered towards, like, a 10-year-old audience or whatever. And, like, people are, like, screaming bloody murder about balance changes and stuff. And about them, like, so recently they added zombies to Fortnite or whatever. And it totally ruins the game. But, like, all of these competitive players are just losing their shit, you know? And I think it's, like, a fun thing for kids, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we both have a Nintendo Switch, just catching up some people that maybe are just joining in. And I don't know if I'll be picking this game up, but I will definitely be taking a closer look at it than Fallout 76, for instance. Because I don't know if I can bring myself to play another open world game after just buying Red Dead Redemption 2.
Fair enough. Yeah, because that's going to be like, what, 100 hours of gameplay, like
60
alone right
just
there?
for the mainline story, and then, you know, you gotta, there's just it's so slow and meticulous, but we'll get into that later in the show. What else has you amped? Oh, I want to know, are you Team Pikachu or Team Eevee?
Whew. Eevee.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I'm not a weeboo, like, fucking...
Raichu was my favorite Pokemon. Raichu and Gengar growing up.
So Raichu is an awesome Pokemon. Pikachu, it's like the gentrified Pokemon, dude. Like, I don't want to see any more Pikachu. Like,
I hear you. He's been everywhere for, like we were saying earlier in this topic, 20 years now.
Holy shit. Okay, well, I guess I didn't even put the dates for BlizzCon. That's a bummer.
It's okay. BlizzCon, you can go ahead and get that searched up. There's a couple more games on this list we can chat about.
Okay.
So coming out later this year, Battlefield 5. Not really a huge Battlefield fan. Let us know in the comments if you really are huge into Battlefield 5 or any of those. I mean, I've just never played any of them. What about you?
I played a little Battlefield 4. I thought it was like a hilarious game, but like the maps were so big and like I just felt like it felt empty, you know? Like I like constantly being in gunfights and games like that, you know? And it just kind of felt like you're kind of distanced. And I also don't like games where I'm wondering what window someone shot me from.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate realistic shooters, honestly.
For sure, I hear you. Yeah. So that's coming out 11/20 right before Black Friday. And then Darksiders 3. Did you ever play Darksiders 3 or Darksiders the series at all?
So I tried to get through Darksiders 1 and 2 on stream recently, but it's one of those things that if I get stuck in a game ever, like I just give up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like instantly. So I didn't really dig into those. My brother was a big fan. I'm told it's like a really similar to Zelda in kind of like a darker atmosphere. You know?
Big hack and slash game. It's like where you're gonna have a lot more enemies around you than like probably Zelda's like 6 to 8 bokoblins, at least for Breath of the Wild at a time. And I hear this has like dozens, so it's one of those Bushido type things. But we got some homie Moist Clams is giving us that BlizzCon support out here, November 2nd and 3rd. Thank you, homie. We will be chatting about that here in a little bit. I know Trey's got some stuff to discuss about it. But real quick, the last game on this list, I know for a fact I'll either get it from Santa Claus or my fiance.
I've got this one pre-ordered, baby.
Oh, for real?
Oh, yeah, dude. I want it the day it comes out, baby.
Well, then that's 100%, and then I have to get it the day because I have to beat your face into the ground, homeboy.
Get real, bro. This is my game. So we got Smash Bros. Ultimate coming out 12/7 of this year. Really, really stoked on this game, man.
It's just absolutely bonkers what they've already released as far as the character list. Every single character that's ever been in a Smash Bros. Game is coming back, and then some. We've got some new guys.
Oh my god, 68 characters released so far, and from what I hear, that's not even it yet.
Tomorrow, Nintendo, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Central. They're releasing that Nintendo Direct, telling us what else is going down. We're expecting some of these crazy leaks to come to fruition, and I don't know if any of you guys out there have seen those. So if I won't
gotta pull it up.
Spoilers on the potential leaks. I know some people are getting really, really touchy about that online. I'm not saying that the Twitch channel is going to be like that.
People are leaks about Smash Bros. Characters?
Yeah, no, so like nothing that's on the screen right now, nothing that you guys are seeing on twitch.tv/Totally Trey, but there's other characters that are
we won't spoil it then.
Sure,
we'll leave it because I didn't know that was even a point of contention, honestly. I kind of thought that it would that people would want to know what characters were going to be in the game, but
you never know. If it is, I mean, do you want to chat about it? We can always tell them to skip ahead 30 seconds.
Oh, it's good, dude.
Okay.
It's good.
We'll find out soon enough, everyone. That Nintendo Direct is going to be coming out tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Pacific. I hope Nintendo brings the heat, and I hope some of those rumors are true, because they are absolutely wacky. Because if whatever those are, some of those are true, who knows what those DLC characters are going to be like?
Oh, dude, if they don't release Waluigi, dude, I'm going to smash my Switch on a fucking rock. I don't know, dude.
Dude, what game has he been in? Waluigi has been in literally no games except for like
Mario Tennis, bro. Yes. And he was the #1 tier in Mario Tennis on N64. And he was the greatest character, and I haven't really got a chance to stretch my legs with him. Like, honestly. So, like, outside of some Mario Party action, and even then, I have to take Dry Bones above him. But we're not getting a Dry Bones in Smash Bros. Either, so...
Hey, he's at least a trophy, one of those support trophies. You know, they've always got to show the respect of Mr. Dry Boner. So, man, Smash 4 is going to be nuts. We can't wait to come back at you with the actual details. We're expecting the full release list, because they were saying all those Smash Bros. Characters, that whole complete list is going to come out before the December 7th drop for Nintendo Switch. So, let's dive into that BlizzCon, though. We got Moist Clams with the assist here.
Thanks, bro.
Twitch.tv/Totally Trey. If you're listening to us on YouTube on Friday morning, definitely check us out. We do this live on Twitch.tv/Totally Trey. What's BlizzCon? I don't even know. No, I'm kidding. I don't want everyone to come after me.
So Blizzard, my favorite gaming company, or one of my favorite gaming companies at least, basically does a big convention where they do some cool gaming tournaments. They always give out great packages with like tickets and stuff, like, so usually cool in-game stuff that'll like sell for a lot of money, you know, and they end up doing some cool packages. And honestly, from what I hear, it's a great convention, you know. I've actually never gone to a gaming convention or been to BlizzCon myself, but anywho, we're expecting some big Diablo news at some point. There was rumors of a Diablo 4 leak coming out, but Blizzard has gone and squashed that, and basically the speculation now is that we're getting a Diablo 2 remastered, which honestly is fine by me, man. Like,
you've been playing some on the channel, right?
Oh,
now,
yeah,
right?
I've been playing a lot of it, honestly, and my eyes would appreciate, like, an upgrade in graphics, because, like, the pixels, like, so my eyes are trying to adjust to this pixelation all day. Like, so I did, like, a 9-hour stream the other day, and by the end, I was like, real life looks incorrect. Like, It needs less pixels. Like, turn down the pixels. Like, anti-aliasing. I don't know.
For sure. That game is how old now? Like 95 or 6?
I couldn't even tell you, dude. In the early 2000s, honestly.
Okay.
And I remember playing it in high school. And honestly, probably one of the reasons I didn't go to college. So.
Man, you're not the only one I know. Special shout out to Chris Aldridge and Chad Aldridge. They got addicted. Chris especially. But you were saying, like, people can play Diablo 2 and just play the same world, like the same hell, same everything for like years and years. You know?
What's cool about Diablo 2 is it's a really deep game, and like even though it's like a really short story that they repeat on 3 different difficulties, you just always feel like you have something to do, even if there's nothing to do, and it's like either getting loot or like helping out other people. And one thing I really like about Diablo 2 is that most games, like especially RPGs these days, are geared towards the end game, you know? This game, you can't get max level, you know, like ever. Like level 100 takes like a million years, or level 99 or whatever
Oh,
it is.
wow.
I'm told that level 98 to 99 is like the entire game pushed together and then add more,
Wow.
just the amount of grinding you have to do.
So what level are you at then?
My guy's like level 90.
Okay.
I honestly don't really focus on leveling really. What I've been doing lately is the hardcore runs, which is like a permadeath version of the game. So if your character dies, your character is deleted. So I think that's like a really fun thing to stream, just because it's like there's a narrative, and then there's like a high energy moment when you die, and everyone is like just waiting for you to die the entire time, and they're like, LOL. Like, fuck you, dude.
They just tell you to F off.
Yeah, dude. But anyways, it would be super cool to see a Diablo 4, but it looks like we're not getting that. Hoping for Diablo 2. Anyways.
Hey, this weekend we're about to see that, right? And we're gonna get a lot of like the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We're gonna figure that out in the next couple days. This BlizzCon with do you think they're gonna announce that D2 then? Remastered?
That's the word. That's the word. I don't like to make guesses on that shit because like why? But one thing that I am sure about is they are releasing a take-home demo for WoW Classic at BlizzCon.
Whoa.
So if you buy a virtual ticket, you can also play, but that's $50, and it's only going for like 2 or 3 days. So I was like, I'm not going to pay the $50 just to play it for a couple days. But very excited for WoW Classic. It's a stripped-down version of the game going back to the early release of the game. I think it's like patch 1.12, in the early days, which a lot of people think was the best the game ever was, with the level 60 cap, and I'm pretty excited for that.
So what the cap now is at 100. 120. Jesus, that's how far like back I am. I'm not caught up at all on the WoW.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. People, it's a very specific community. You know what I mean? Like, if you either play WoW and like kind of stay in WoW news permanently, or you just, you know what I mean?
For sure.
But
WoW Classic though, that sounds pretty tight.
So there's like a pretty funny story with like the whole private server things. So basically Blizzard was saying back in the day that they would never ever release a private vanilla server or whatever, a classic server. So there was a bunch of private companies that opened up like servers of their own so that people could play like the old version of the game on their servers. So Blizzard started issuing like a bunch of cease and desists to these guys. So they ended up outsourcing the shit to Russia.
Whoa.
And like had Russian servers because the international copyright laws were different there, so that they could continue running these servers just because like the level of dedication these players have to this old version of the game. And I guess Blizzard must have seen that at some point, or saw it as a missed opportunity for some amount of money or whatever it is, and finally caved and are finally going to be giving us a demo November 8th.
Crazy.
I'm pretty excited, man.
That's cool that like such a small sector of the community is like just absolutely loves this version of the game, which it's a game that's had hundreds of iterations, like what, a dozen expansions?
Oh yeah,
not
no, like
more?
probably I think like 6 expansions, 7
Okay.
expansions. But I mean, you were talking about how you liked a certain version of Gears of War, and you wish
man.
the lobbies were still open for that game, and it's exactly that.
Yeah.
Like, people are just sad that they can't play that old version of the game, and like just feel like it was taken away from them unjustly.
Do you
know
ever
what I mean?
remember hearing those stories where people would play, like the last person playing Halo 2, like would leave his Xbox on and like just did not want the servers to get shut down. I mean, that kind of thing. I mean, I can totally relate. And like you were saying, I've been playing Gears of War 4 lately. In anticipation for Red Dead Redemption 2, I had to turn on my Xbox One for the first time. And besides, like every single month, twice a month, I'll turn it on to download the free games with gold, just because I want to feel like I'm getting my $60 a year for the Xbox Live. So I get those free games, and I have like dozens that are never going to be probably played, but at least they're on there. But anyway, I downloaded the Gears of War 4 patch, which was like 50 gigs on top of having to download the disc, and I played, and man, does that game feel way different than, like you were saying, Gears 1 or Gears Ultimate, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is something that I absolutely loved because it was like Gears 1 with better graphics, all the map packs, they were available, and just updated sliding wall balancing is what we call it in the Gears world. But that's exactly the same thing. Like these people, they're going back to the roots. 1.12, like you were saying, man, that's gotta be intense for those people that long-standing fans of the game.
Because we've had like all of these private servers, and none of them, there's been a lot of really close replications, you know what I mean, but it was never on like the Blizzard engine, you know what I mean. So we have like I think it's run on something called Mongoose. I don't really know a whole lot about programming or whatever, but it's just like a feeble attempt at recreating the AI from this stuff and like the scripting and stuff. From what I hear, a lot of the private servers do a great job of like replicating that experience, but it's nice to have like an authentic, like, so those servers could get shut down at any minute, and a lot of them would, people would just take the money and run, would take the donations and just get the fuck out of there on those private servers. And it's nice to know that your character will be like safe, you know, especially when you're playing a game like World of Warcraft, where in this version of the game, the world record for hitting level 60, the max level, was 4 days and 20 hours played time.
Whoa. So, 420.
Yeah. That's how I remember it, dude. Coming to you live straight from Blunt Mountain.
Yeah.
But in some other Blizzard news, we got Lucio O's coming out, which is it's been a part of the Overwatch game. It's like a tag in the game. Kind of brings us to the Mario cereal. Man. What happened? Did you ever see it?
Man, I never saw it. I didn't really ever make any special trips, but I will say that like there were definitely people across the country waiting in line, just like all the amiibo, because it came with that like amiibo like
the scanning
like for the cereal box. I think it was just a Mario amiibo though, you know, which I have like 8 of. Yeah. Because I have the gold one, then I have the Odyssey one, then I have the regular one, then I have the Mario Party Mario Party 10 one. So I mean, I have like that guy, have that Mario amiibo so many times. I never made special trips, but when I did check, like in a Target or in a Walmart here in Des Moines, Iowa, I never was able to find it. I mean,
no.
But I mean, would I eat it? I don't even know.
Would I eat it?
I think I would just save it, right?
Are you a big cereal guy though?
I'm a big sealed like guy.
A sealed product guy. Yeah. But do you eat much cereal?
I mean, not really.
Yeah.
I eat, when I eat cereal though, I go effing hard. I finish the whole box, you know?
Yeah, no. Especially if you're going low carbs, that's not the way to be.
Right. So like I only give myself like Saturday and or Sunday to just smash a box of cereal.
And this boy knows how to binge eat.
I binge everything in my life, y'all. But hey, that's what's up. That's a learning thing. So yeah, what are the Lucios then? Loot boost with a proof of receipt?
So yeah, basically if you scan in, I don't even know, you probably have to like email it or like scan it into something and
QR
send it to
code,
Blizzard.
maybe?
Yeah, something like that. And you get a loot boost, so you'd be more likely to get loot boxes after winning games or something like that. Or you
what games again?
Overwatch.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Sorry.
Cool.
Yeah, so.
That's another game, like, I'm glad I did not get into Overwatch when it was at its peak, which was, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
It won IGN's Game of the Year award in 2016. I'm so happy I didn't drink that Kool-Aid. I would be playing Overwatch like a mad mother effer right now.
I played some Overwatch. It's a great game. It's super fun. I didn't think it was overly addictive or anything like that, you know.
I just get addicted to those like shooters, let alone an arena shooter, which, I mean, that's another reason why I haven't played Smite, which I know is something you've been trying to get into.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I just started playing that yesterday and today. That's actually why I didn't do my morning or afternoon stream, is because I'm learning how to play the game. I really didn't want to subject anyone to the 0 and 11 game I played earlier.
Wow.
It was pretty impressive, dude. But
aren't you playing like games specifically like find your like where you are like in the ranking system at all, or because that's something I thought was really cool.
Placement games.
Yeah.
No, not right now. They make you go a little further, like level your account up a little further before you play like ranked games at all. So. It'll be a little bit before I'm doing that shit. But.
Yeah, I think that's something I've really enjoyed about Gears of War 4 so far, is that I have so much respect for how far they've come, because they have those placement games in line for every mode, and it just makes things so much easier for like, I got smashed for 5 games instead of like 50 games because by that 6th game I was put in like the right bracket.
Yeah, definitely. Right now I'm playing the social games, which, as you know, in League of Legends, it's like the worst shit ever because you'll have one guy on the other team that's like pro player that's like on team phase on his like Smurf account, and then you'll have like 2 guys on your team AFK, and then one guy just running and feeding, and it's like, you know,
that's one of those things I've really I mean, taking it back to Gears of War is like I could just get the sniper and have an active reload and down people. Like I know that people are probably listening to this on YouTube or like we said twitch.tv/TotallyTrey, but man, like I felt like I could take on the team of 4v4 by myself because I could just exploit the active reloads if I had to.
Yeah, definitely. That's like I like high skill gap games like that though, where if you decided like you just needed to take a break from some ranked, go unload on some fucking nerds, like you always have that option.
Yeah.
Like I like the matchmaking, like having the option to play ranked and then also being able to just unload on kids, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about this. I've just been thinking about this more and more lately. I do miss having something competitive to just wreck people at. And then some days I get wrecked, you know? But, like, at least something just like, completely, like, unload, like you were saying.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I was wondering what you were, how you're doing with that Fortnite, man. Like, are you playing that game?
Dude, I was playing it the other morning, and I was streaming it to one viewer, myself, for like 2 hours. And the last time I got killed, I'm like, fuck this fucking game, fuck this fucking stream. Like, you know, like just turned it off. Like, it's a rage-inducing game, and it's not good for my channel. So, you know, I like the game. I think it's one of the best games ever made, really, honestly. But it's too competitive. It's
you've put so much time into it, you know. Like you've played everything. You've gotten like 12 kills in the game. Like you've done cool stuff. You've gotten that battle royale, whatever it's called.
Yeah, victory royale.
Victory royale. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm actually crawling close to 100. So, but
wow, that's crazy.
It's such a crazy game to me because like you don't get desensitized to those wins. Like even I'm getting close to 100 wins, and even then my heart's still pounding. I'm shaking. I'm sweating when I'm like closing in on that top 5. You know. It's just an intense game, and like there's very few games that I've ever played that get you that invested and that fucking excited. You know what I mean? So
that juiced. Yeah. I hear you, man. I still get it from Gears, you know, like Gears 4, even though I am pretty trash at that game. But I was wondering, I know you bought Call of Duty Black Ops 4, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't play it for too long?
I didn't play it. It's like
that realistic shooter you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was one of those things that I thought that maybe it would be kind of like a simpler version of Fortnite that I could kind of, you know, relax, chill out, not have to be on edge all the time. But it's the same shit, but worse, man. It's like you just never know where anyone's at. It's just like really confusing, but it's a great game to watch though. I've been loving watching the Black Ops streams, but it's looking like not really giving Fortnite a run for its money, kind of like I thought it would.
Really?
It's definitely pushing PUBG out of the limelight, but honestly, Fortnite's still beating it in views on Twitch, you know, so I think that Fortnite just has like a unique enough style of gameplay that there's no way that a game that's basically the same thing minus the uniqueness could ever beat that. You know what I mean? Like would ever have more attention.
The homies at Epic know what they're doing, especially with those third-person shooters.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. No kidding. I didn't honestly play much Unreal Tournament or anything.
But Gears, man.
I didn't play Gears either.
Dang.
I bought Gears of War 1 through 3 from my buddy for like $10, and I was playing through, I think it was the first one, and in that game there's something that like chases you, like a hunter or something, or a stalker, I don't know, it's just or a brute or something that just chases you and smashes shit, and I was like, got to him, got kind of stuck, and immediately gave up. So that's my style of gaming.
So what do you think about that crossplay that we got with Fortnite?
I think that that's pretty cool. So they have the PS4, Xbox, PC, all crossplay now. Super cool. Not a lot of other games are doing that, but PlayStation has said that they'd be more willing to do crossplay stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Which is honestly amazing because the way that it's set up right now is kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? But to make someone not be able to play with their friends because like they didn't buy the $300 system, you know,
right.
which is essentially a PC with a different package.
So you think we're gonna get there at some point? I mean, with the Xbox, what's it called? The Xbox Cloud, xCloud, that they've just kind of like sneakily.
I haven't heard of that. What's that?
It's pretty much like what was that thing that they used to have? Just cloud gaming. I mean, it's going to be like where you can play on the PlayStation, on your Xbox, and then play, and then PC.
So you would just be essentially playing on their rig, and you would be like just displaying it on your screen.
Have you heard? You know, Crackdown, the new Crackdown that they've like kind of teased. Okay, so it's an Xbox One exclusive, single player experience mainly, but they're going to be pumping out like you're going to be using the power of their PCs on the server to have like a crazy open world experience, unlike anything else with like other players, like something close to probably WoW.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, well, you know, WoW is like humongous.
Well, I'm told that like this Red Dead game is changing the way that single player games are going to be made. So I'm sure that with an open world and the open world changing for single players, that it would eventually change for multiplayer as well into that. What's it? Ready Player One style world. Have you seen that movie yet? Oh, dude, you need to check that out, man.
Check it out.
You would love it. It's pretty much they're just in a video game, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a big online game or whatever. So
I'm boosting us on the page here.
Oh, shody. Well, let's see what else. What else we got on the docket for this afternoon? Oh yeah. The Red Dead 2, that looks like pretty much our last topic of the day. And both Sean and I have bought this game. I bought it to play with my girlfriend, Gail. We haven't really got to play it very much. Like, we played the first hour. Very cool. Like, the snow effects, crazy, dude.
Dude, walking your horse through that snow for the first time, then seeing like every hoof that goes down is putting an imprint into the snow. That's absolutely bonkers. I loved it. So yeah, I got it. I was like jazzed on playing this game, but I knew I was going out of town for the weekend, so I didn't like. I got home from work right away on Friday because I was leaving early Saturday morning, and I just played as much as I could. I ended up only playing about 2 to 3 hours, but that footage is up on the EZPZ YouTube channel, and it's pretty freaking outstanding. I mean, what I was really taken back from what I was really, I guess, didn't expect, except for some previewers were saying this, is it's so slow and methodical.
Yeah.
Every little thing that you do has to be, like, it's just a real world. Like,
yeah. You have to eat food, everything. My buddy, he made a funny post being like, somebody replaced my copy of the critically acclaimed Red Dead Redemption 2 with Mundane Horse Simulator 1.
Oh my gosh,
if you could please return my copy of Red Dead Redemption 2, it would be much appreciated. But
I mean, is he enjoying it? Because it's something that I've been hearing online, on Twitter, with all the people I follow in the games industry, is that they're enjoying the game, but they're not enjoying the game's not fun. And what they mean by that is like, it's pretty outstanding to see and have the option to go out in the world and just murder a bunch of people and then just become a bad guy, like a completely horrible person. And then, but that's not generally really fun because it's so realistic.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can see that. The realism is like interesting and engaging, like a hands-on movie, but it's not fun in the way that like Mario Bros or like a goofy Smash Bros type game, like where shit's bouncing off the walls is happening. You know, it's more of like you're invested in the characters, you're invested in the story, and generally not my kind of game, but trying to get more into the story games.
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely said on EZPZ Podcast before that you're just not so big in on the story driven games, the storyline games. And I mean, it goes to show because like you haven't played the new God of War, for instance.
Oh
right?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a game that honestly looked pretty interesting to me. I don't like jumping in the middle of these sequels. Like, I don't like playing God of War 4 without playing a little bit of the other stuff, you know?
Man, you
like,
can't let that hold you back these days. There's too many good games. Like,
yeah, I get it, but like, there's so many good games that I can just play off the continuations of the games that I played, you know, and kind of have some basis for the story, especially when it's getting up into those like 5, 6, 7 numbers, you know, like.
So Red Dead Redemption 2, going back to that, it's a prequel to Red Dead Redemption that came out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And what I just did to make sure I was caught up with that, because once I got to Mexico, I didn't even get to Mexico, I don't think, in that game, which is like the kind of checkpoint that you get to. Once you make it there, then the game gets absolutely bonkers, you know? I didn't really get that far. I ended up putting in probably 20, 30 hours, but still didn't get there. So what I just did is went to YouTube and looked up IGN first in Red Dead Redemption 1 storyline in 5 minutes or whatever it is, and like just watch it, and then now I know like what's gonna happen, and not necessarily the greatest thing to do for a game that a prequel because now I know. But
well,
like,
so that's what I was thinking. Is I was like, oh, that's the most brilliant way to release a sequel to a game or like that, because now you have a bunch of people like me that don't like jumping in on the story. That it's a prequel. So it's like, oh, so I can do this like the Star Wars thing. Like I can watch episodes 1 through 3 and then just crank into 4, 5, 6, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, like I can go to the theater with my buddies. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, I think it makes a lot of sense for sure. Red Dead Redemption 2. Any other like? I know you said you've only played the first hour. So have you made it out of the snow at all?
No. So Gail. You know, small spoilers here. So if you haven't played the game, it's not really a big thing.
It's
but
just within the first hour of gameplay.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So you have your first major choice in the game, whether or not to strangle this man that jumped on you, or just to leave him, you know, and let him go, or whatever. And I didn't really fully grasp what was happening in the story because I was kind of doing other things, and I thought that like we were doing some shady ass shit, and I was like, oh, we gotta choke him out. She's like, why are you choking him? So he's dead because I didn't know what was happening.
We're cowboys, Trey. We're kindred cowboys because I choked the hell out of him and I knew what I was doing. I am going to kill everybody I want in this game.
Oh, you're gonna be a bandit.
I love the Paragon system in the game is so freaking awesome. I love it. I love games where they give you the chance to be the White Knight or the Black Knight, and I'm gonna be a murderous man, but I'm gonna try being as sneaky as possible and cover my tracks when I have to. You know, take those bodies on, put them on my shoulder, put them in a bush if I have to, stuff like that. But yeah, I love to hear that kind of you did recognize that as being that first like integral part of the game, because it was like I did have a slight instance in me where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be good, I'm gonna do my best, but this guy, no, like he saw things I don't want him to like, see. Or
and he was part of that kind of murderous gang of crooks, so right? Yeah. So like, I mean, he needed to go really.
And he tried killing me.
Yeah, he tried jumping on you, like. But no, it seemed like a really cool game. Like I want to dig in a little more to it before I like say anything about it. But like the voice acting and the cinematics are super duper cool. Like you just feel like. It reminds me a lot of. Do you ever see The Hateful Eight?
Oh yeah.
It just is that kind of gritty, like, Western, like outlaw-y atmosphere. You know what I mean? Like just like the Untamed West. Even though, in the story they say this is kind of around the time where the West was beginning to become tamed. You know?
Yeah. I love that too. It's like we're getting there at the very end of it. Yeah, most likely. I wish I had an Xbox One X because I do have a 4K TV in the living room, so I would love to be playing this on 4K, the gorgeousness of that, but I only have that OG Xbox One, and I'm hearing online like this is the first big AAA game where the differences between Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro are so like insane. Like you can see every single like the difference, like just side by side. You know how you can't really see that very often. That's just like a maxed out PC and then an Xbox One and then a PlayStation 4. You can kind of see the PC looks better generally.
Well, it depends what games, man. Because like a lot. What's PlayStation and Xbox cap out at 60 frames per second? Yeah. Like I have 120 frames. You know, like on every game I play. Yeah. Like you know, so I
think it's 4K 60 frames per second for for Xbox and PlayStation 4, but I'm not 100% sure what it is for like 1080p. There's possibilities.
There's very few games out in 4K right now, anyways.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, the games that are taking advantage of the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4's Pro's power, excuse me. I mean, it's just crazy to hear. Like, this is one of those. This is the game. Like, you got to see it. Brian Altano, Agent Bizzle on Twitter. He's one of my favorite gaming industry homies out there. He's works at IGN, does hosting there. He's awesome. He actually went out and bought an Xbox One X because of how crazy difference it is. And he had already been playing it on the PlayStation 4 Pro for 10 hours. And he scrapped that save, went out, and he started fresh this weekend.
Okay.
It's pretty intense, like, to hear that. That's not the only story I've heard online, too. People are really recognizing that X1X's power, son. So suck on that.
I mean, I don't care. I'm not like a PlayStation fanboy or anything.
We're not igniting any flames here, yo. We're homies. We are not going to start the console wars BS, because we all know you're master race PC.
Yeah. Get out of here, dude. Like, we don't even need to have that conversation, because the conversation is had by my PC specs, dude.
This thing is gigantic, though. I will say, you're not taking that to any LAN parties.
Oh, easy, dude. Easy peasy. Get that to a LAN party, bro. Like,
does it have a handle like a GameCube or what?
I don't know. Probably. Probably somewhere on there. Like,
just capping out that Red Dead 2 discussion. That voice acting, though, man.
Oh my god.
Insane.
It makes you wonder what they'd been doing with voice acting in previous games. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like such a wasted opportunity. And there's like so many games that I feel like could totally have voice acting, and they totally just cop out. Like, I mean, if you are a game developer and you need someone to voice act, just call me up, dude. I'll do 50 different voices for you. I'll be Mother Mildred, and I'll give all the quests away.
Dude, my dream job is, of course, working at like IGN or something like that, but also doing voice acting. I love voice acting. Lydia will hear me doing, to this day, even though I don't play the game, I watch it exclusively on streamers, play it, League of Legends. I'll do voices all the time in that game. Because, you know, it's a game where you hear those sound bites so many times.
Yeah, over and over again. It's like the Mario 64, like, what? Wahoo!
Yeah. You hear that 100 times.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean.
The voice acting is nuts. And that companion app, have you downloaded that for your iPhone yet? So it's just like, apparently makes the game so much better. I just downloaded it today, so I'll be able to report back on it eventually, is what it does. But I'm pretty sure it just adds like a map like that is better than the map that you have like in game. Or something weird.
Why?
I'm not 100% sure, but it also gives you access to Arthur Morgan's journal, so that's pretty tight too.
Okay. Like just more story, like another 100 hours of reading material.
I'm pretty sure he writes in his journal every night. So like when you go save, so like you'll experience that here in the next hour or two, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game so far absolutely bonkers. I am we talked about this in EZPZ Podcast, episode 92, out there on Twitch and YouTube and SoundCloud, kind of, and Facebook. But
kind of.
Well, because I have to delete old ones because I don't pay.
Oh, how many can you have up?
Like 2.5. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude.
SoundCloud.
Because they go based off minutes.
Oh, fair enough. So
like,
that's like 6 SoundCloud rapper albums.
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly,
So
yeah. But what I was getting at is that in episode 92, you and I had the birthday cast with you, where him and I talked about that Red Dead Redemption 2 Rockstar turmoil with those 100-hour work weeks. Even with that, I mean, obviously we had clarification on that. It wasn't exactly 100-hour work weeks for everyone involved. Lots of people worked their butt off, and it shows.
Well, and they also said that some people thought that they were mandatory hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So we are wrapping up the first inaugural Totally Gamescast partnership here with Totally Trey at Totally Totally_Trey on Twitter. Totally.Trey on Instagram.
Oh, dude, he's got my tags down for me. Sean S. Johnson on everything.
Yeah. No, that's true. And the EZPZ, that's the podcast that we're both on. We're going to be on episode 93 this weekend. There's a Jawbreaker Music Festival one out there right now with Brandon Paulson and Mitch Sullivan, where we just talk about and get hyped up on Jawbreaker, which was a music festival that happened out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin this last weekend. And we also talk about Sober October, which I just ended. It's over. Finally.
Dude, did you get so drunk?
I got drunk fast.
Yeah, no, you're probably on my level where I had 2 beers last night at dinner with Gail's parents. I was getting goofy and loosey-goosey, dude, like pretty quick.
So you can have that to enjoy if you want to join us on EZPZ Podcast. We talk about, like I said, music, pop culture, all the cool stuff out there. But we're going to be coming at you every 2 weeks, every other Wednesday to start out with.
Yep.
We'll record live on Twitch, and it comes out a day or two later, most likely Friday morning on the EZPZ YouTube channel. And Trey's more than welcome to upload it on whatever his channels are. You don't have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's where I was putting my Fortnite clips, baby.
There you go.
Shit.
So is that just Totally Trey?
So with YouTube, you have to get partnered before you can have like a real thing. So you would have to like look me up and go out of your way if you wanted to check that shit out.
Like when I want people to look at the EZPZ YouTube channel, I just have to say kind of Google it essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. It sucks ass, man. Like it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard for them to give people like a custom URL off the bat, but I guess maybe they just want to save those names for the bigger channels, which also makes sense.
I like how you have a goal, like you have something to work towards there at least.
Yeah.
But we'll be coming back at you with more gaming news, gaming stuff, all the gaming industry stuff. That's the focus of this Totally Gamescast.
Yeah, thanks
podcast.
for everyone for stopping out. It was awesome. Have a good evening, and we'll be back sometime.
Yeah.
Later, dude. Take it easy, guys.
Later.